Guys, welcome back to another movie slash video review. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Disney feature film called The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr.Toad. It was recommended to me from Cinemod Studios, developer of Roxy's Pinball Panic, and it's a movie I've been kind of wanting to watch ever since he mentioned it, because I recently saw Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp, and so I thought, watching this movie could give me some more insight into Sleepy Hollow. So originally, when I first saw the film, I thought it was actually one complete, 1 hour Disney film, but it's actually separated into two parts. So it's like a feature film, according to Wikipedia here. This animated film, released in 1949, and so it was one of Disney's. Says here it's considered a package film. So you have one half is the tale based on the story of called The Wind in the Willows, and then the second part is based on the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So that was kind of surprising, because I originally thought it was going to be one 1 hour film on one story, but it's separated into two. So Disney also did other films like this, package films in the 1940s. It says here, Saludos Amigos, The Three Caballeros, Make Mine Music, and Melody Time. But it seems like they returned to full-length animated films starting with Cinderella in 1950. But let's talk about kind of what my thinking about it. So, for a 1949 animated feature, I would say it holds up pretty good. I do prefer MrToad, the story of MrToad, over the story of Ichabod. I really like MrToad a lot, this is the first half of the film, and I think that's because I'm not familiar with The Wind in the Willows. But it was just, I love the way the Toad, I love the personality of the Toad. It was funny at points. And it's just interesting hearing, the way actors would do voiceovers for these older Disney films. You definitely got that old, you felt that when you hear, just the voice, people, and, the technology, voices sounded different back then. I think just the way of speech and technology has changed over time. But I liked MrToad more than I did the Ichabod half of the film. I just loved, there was a little bit of everything, a little comedy in MrToad. The story was easy to kind of understand. Basically a rich toad goes bankrupt because he has all these crazy, whimsical fads. Beginning of the feature, you see the Toad running amok through London, and with his horse Cyril, and they're basically breaking fences and just going crazy. And the townspeople are mad because the Toad has gone manic, basically. And then the Toad sees a motor car and becomes not infatuated, but really amazed and baffled at the motor car. So the whole premise is he sees a motor car and he gets set up. The motor car is actually that he sees, this red motor car that he sees, was actually stolen. And so because the Toad is kind of manic, in a crazy kind of character, he wanted to make a trade. So he asked the people in the bar, where he found the motor car to trade his town hall, his mansion, for this car, and they agreed to it, which is crazy that Toad would do that because the car itself was stolen from these weasels, right? And the Toad was basically set up in court, and he couldn't, he was framed basically. He didn't, there was a deed, that was signed, so there was a deal that was made, but there was greed from Mr. Winkle, I think is his name, the bar owner. So the bar owner, wanted to put the Toad in jail, and kept his house, and I'm pretty sure he kept the car as well, the motor car. And so, you see Toad inside the jail, and it's Christmas time, Christmas Eve, and he's just sad. And you get the feeling as you watch this little feature that this Toad is crazy. I mean, this Toad is he's has all this mania. He should be in jail, but then you sort of find out that, wait a minute, he's not crazy. He just doesn't make the right choices. Not smart choices, but he's full of, he has a lot of pep in his step, and so yeah, I mean, basically, he gets out of jail. He finds a way to escape from his horse, helps him escape, and they find a way. He gets exonerated, right? Because he was set up, but he gets the deed and is able to show it, to the court that he's innocent. So, and just as you think that he's gone sane, right? That he promises never to go crazy again with all the fads he's had with cars and all these things. It kind of at the end it pans to him flying. So now he's flying. What is it? And he's on a 1903 Wright Flyer. So he has a mania for planes. So I really did like that part. That was my favorite part of the two feature animations in the film. Sleep, the Legend, the Ichabod adventure was okay. I'm not really too familiar with either of these stories. So maybe that has to do with how I feel about the Ichabod one, based on the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Because I was trying to base what I had seen in the movie Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp, but I on this short featured film here, and I saw some similarities, but saw some differences. You get the kind of the same, but it doesn't present itself as well as the MrToad feature. But I think these two feature films within this Disney movie, I think they have some great songs that play throughout, that are pretty catchy, and you have some great. You can kind of get some themes that gather. The theme that I got from both of them when I'm comparing them both, Sleepy Hollow and MrToad, was the theme of mania and craziness. So in with MrToad, you saw his mania with cars and planes and the decisions he made with wanting to sell his mansion for a car and all the things he was doing, right? And they were trying to reform him. And then you saw the mania in Craze with Ichabod, who who believes in this superstition, and so Ichabod ended up believing. He let the story of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow get to his head, and so that really kind of, on his way back to Sleepy Hollow, from Katrina, a lady he was infatuated with. I think her name was Katrina. Was it Katrina? I think it was. Well, yeah, yeah, Katrina, as he goes back to Sleepy Hollow, that's when his mind starts thinking about the story of the legend of the Sleepy Hollow and the Headless Horseman. And so I got kind of these themes that were emerging, about Mania. Really kind of spoke to me about a lot of themes of Mania. And I think this was around the time when, people didn't understand, sort of mental illness back then, and they thought people who were crazy, or insane, were possessed, or were witches back in the Salem trials. But another interesting thing I found about the story of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow was Ichabod was apparently using Katrina to get Katrina's fortunes. So, and at the same time, Katrina was using Ichabod to make Braum jealous. Braum was the other person in the town who was trying to win over Katrina's heart. So you have a lot of themes emerging where, Ichabod wants, he wants the farm, he wants the money, and then you see Katrina, who wants to win over Braum by using Ichabod. So it's really really intricate, because that's how it kind of played out in the movie Sleepy Hollow. But that's a movie that I'll definitely have to watch again to kind of really get it. Maybe even read the story. But wrapping this up, I really liked it. I kept my focus, and for a film from 1950 to keep my focus is that's pretty not easy to do. I like the artwork a lot, the art direction, especially in MrToad's part, and I recommend it to you guys who have not seen it. Definitely recommend it. The narration, Bing Crosby was a narrator of the Sleepy Hollow segment. Basil Rathbone was a narrator of the Wind in the Willows segment. Just great artwork, great throwback to the old 1950s Disney-styled feature films. And I really want to watch Peter Pan from 1953. I have not seen that, but I remember I had there was a Disney store in the mall a long time ago where I bought that toy. It was a Hook toy, Captain Hook toy, and I never knew what it was based on, which specific movie, but I know it's based on that now, Peter Pan from 53, and I really liked Hook from 1992, which I will be doing a pinball movie for eventually, so I figured, but I want to watch Peter Pan as well, since I'm on this Disney, kind of old Disney film runs here, watching them. So I just wanted to release this video because Cinnamon Studio is one of my thoughts, and I figured my thoughts are better right after I watch it. So yeah, let me know what you think about it. If you've seen this movie or feature film, I definitely take MrToad. I have to choose MrToad. I liked it a lot better, story-wise, and just the way they presented it. And now it makes me want to watch or find more movies based on the Wind in the Willows, if there are any. If there are any that you guys can let me know, because I want to find adaptations of this Wind in the Willows. So until next time, thank you for listening. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.